Aleichem and welcome to Online Smicha. Today we'll discuss a halacha on this week's parsha, Parshas Devarim. Moshe Rabbeinu says, "Vayomer Hashem Elai, Leimar Hashem tells me to go around, don't cause trouble with Bnei Esav," and he says, "Al tizgaru bam, don't get them angry," and Ki Yerusha leEsav Nostatias Har Seir, because their land where they're in now, that's their inheritance. It's not our business to conquer that land. You buy food from them with money, and also buy from them water to drink. So that's the first place we find that the Eibishter says, buy food and supplies from Goyim and stay out of trouble from mingling with these Goyim. Further on the parsha, we see again that by this time it's not talking about Esav, it's talking about Moav. And the pasuk says, "Vaydaber Hashem alai leimer ata iver hayom gvul Moav." Today you're going to be passing. Soon you're going to be passing the boundary of Moav Esar, the city of Ar. And there's a difference between when you're going through Moav, you're going to be going through Ammon. So again, by Ammon, he adds an extra word, and he says, "Al titzurem, v'al tizgar," be very careful not to get them angry, because their land is going to stay their land. We're just going to be passing by. But again, what the pasuk says, "Ve'eshlach malachim b'midbar kedemus el sichem melech Heshbon." Moshe Rabbeinu says, "I sent messengers from Midbar Kedemus to please greet Sichon and make sure they're calm, they're peaceful with what we're going to do. We're not here for trouble." And Rashi says from the Medrash that the Midbar Kedemus is Moshe Rabbeinu learned this act of sending shluchim in advance to make sure that the people are happy with what's going on as the Yidden are going to pass by. He learned this from Moshe Rabbeinu. He learned this from the Eibishter. The Eibishter, before he gave the Torah, went around to all nations of the world, even knowing in advance that they're not going to accept the Torah, but he sent shluchim, malachim, to go ask every nation of the world, are they interested? So Moshe Rabbeinu too, knowing that the Goyim will be in peace with what they're doing, but he learns from the act, a ma'aseh of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, how to create shalom. But over here the pasuk says again, "Oichel ba'kesef tashbireni v'achalti umayim ba'kesef titnli v'shasisi." You should buy food and eat the food, and buy water or get water and you'll drink. Now, it seems to say again the stress of buying and eating and water and drinking. Why is the Torah? What else is he buying the water for if not to eat and drink? So the Mefarshim explain that even though the Yidden still had the Be'er Shel Miriam, they still had the Be'er there, and they still had the man falling. So in L'chaira, they didn't even need the help from the Goyim, but it's an act of Derech Eretz. That actually it's brought in halacha too, that when you come as a guest in somebody's home, even if you have your own food out of Derech Eretz, if somebody offers you or somebody's nice to you, it's nice to be nice to the host and eat his food. The same thing over here, as the Yidden are passing by the Goyish city that the Eibishter says belongs to them, even though that we have our own food, we will buy from them. Or others say that they specifically, the Goyim put in a lot of salt in their. The Bnei Yishmaelim brought a lot of salty food, so they should be able to buy water. They should be thirsty and not only buy water. They should be forced to buy from them things, and that will cause them to harm the Yidden Rachman al-Islam. So the pasuk stresses that the Yidden only bought food to eat and water to drink. Baruch Hashem, Hashem watched them to be saved. But the halacha point over here is brought in the Gemara of Avodah Zarah. The Gemara of Avodah Zarah says, "Oichel ba'kesef tashbireni v'achalti umayim ba'kesef titnli v'shasisi." Says the Gemara, "Hashalakei shalovdi kechavim asurim." Hashalakei is what the Poskim say is a general term for food, bishul. Any cooked food of a guy is usher to eat. How do we know this? Which we call, by the way, Bishul Akum. Well, how do we know there's a concept of halacha of Bishul Akum is usher? Because the Torah over here says, "Oichel ba'kesef tashbireni v'achalti umayim ba'kesef titnli v'shasisi." Darshan the Gemara, the comparison between the oichel and the mayim. Ka mayim. Just like the water that you paid for to get to drink is as is. There was no change in the water through fire. It's raw water. No act was done. The guy didn't have to do anything to give you the water, but just draw the water from the well or whatever it is, but he didn't do any cooking. So too the type of food that you're able to buy from a guy and eat is only if the guy did not change the form of it through fire, through cooking, only then you could buy from a guy food. If not, if he changed it by cooking it, he did Bishul Akum, it is issur. Now the place can have the constant debates. If the limud is a real limud or it's only a Smicha, how serious is this issur? And what's the reason for this issur? Others say the reason for the issur is because of chasanos. When you start buying food you start eating goyish food that they made, homemade food, you become friendly. You become too friendly to a guy. Rahman al-Islan, it could lead to intermarriage. Others say it's just they might serve you from one thing non-kosher, from even if they're giving you now has no problem of non-kosher ingredients, it might lead to non-kosher. And the difference will be is what it's Gepaskin and Shulchan Aruch. The Pischei Tshuva in Siman Kuf Yud Gimel in Yeridea brings different shittas. If this din of Bishul Akum only specifically applies by a goy, or how about Rahman al-Tzlan a Yisrael Mummer, a Yid, Rahman al-Tzlan, who's far off the right path, and he cooked up some food with kosher ingredients, and he cooked it up for you. Are you allowed to eat it? So the Pischei Tshuva brings the debate, and he says, if the Ikar Gzeira, if the main point of this Gzeira was Mishum Chasanes, it shouldn't lead to intermarriage. So a Mummer, there's no issur to marry into a family of a Mummer. After all, he's Jewish. However, is another time which is brought that perhaps if you start becoming too comfortable and you'll eat this food which happens to be kosher, next time he might feed you something not kosher, and after all he's a mummer, he really doesn't care about the halachas of kashrus. Well, if he's there, says the Pischei Tshuva, if this is the time that gam bishul shel mummer issur, even a Yisrael mummer who cooks up food, it's issur to eat from, because the havik a kofer l'chol Torah kula. Because this person, Nebach, is in a situation where he doesn't keep kol Torah kula. V'shema yachilenu devarim asurim. Perhaps he will give him next time. This time he might be safe, but next time if you become too friendly, he will give you something which is not kosher or something you're not allowed to eat. And he concludes and says, "Olfiza hu adin mumar l'chal Shabbos l'farhesya." The din will apply for any mumar even the chal Shabbos, which halachically, somebody who's a mumar chal Shabbos b'farhesya is categorized as a mumar l'chol Torah kula. The same din will apply. It depends which reason it is for the issur of Bishul Akum. If it's mitzvah chasanes, it's mutter. But if you accept the reason is mishum Gzeira, that he'll give you something else which is non-kosher, machalos asuras, then even from a mummer you're not supposed to eat. Yashikoyach, please join us again next week.